released the entire list of everybody that's partied with P. Diddy and did God knows what. And the list is long, I'm telling you, it is extremely long, and some of these names surprise me, and it's heartbreaking. Serena Williams, David Beckham, Victoria Beckham, Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith, Chris Brown, Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, Kris Jenner, Lupita Nyong'o, Sean Penn, wow, Tyrese Gibson, Zendaya, Big Sean, Michael B. Jordan, Future, Adele, Steve Harvey, Tiana Taylor, Floyd Mayweather, Dr. Dre, LL Cool J, Swizz Beatz, Lala Anthony, Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, they got Deadpool? Mark Wahlberg, Cara Delevingne, Iggy Azalea, Rihanna, Mariah Carey, Pharrell Williams, Paris Hilton, Justin Bieber, 50 Cent, Kendall and Kylie Jenner, Lil Kim, Drake, Snoop Dogg, Alicia Keys. I'm telling you guys, this list is long. Jay-Z, Beyonce, Jennifer Lopez, Kanye West, Kim Kardashian, Naomi Campbell, Mary J. Blige, Leonardo DiCaprio, Usher, we all knew about Usher, Chris Rock, Nas, Eva Longoria, Pharrell Williams, Lewis Hamilton, or is it Louis Hamilton, Joe Jonas, Sofia Vergara, Shakira, Demi Lovato, John Legend, and Chrissy Teigen, Post Malone, Travis Scott, Ellen DeGeneres, Kevin Hart, Jamie Foxx, Oprah Winfrey, Quincy Jones, DJ Khaled, bro, Habibi, Astaghfirullah, Lenny Kravitz, Madonna, A$AP Rocky, Meek Mill, no surprise there, Normani, Miguel, Hailey Bieber, Jaden Smith, Prince Harry, Princess Beatrice of York, and Princess Eugenie of York, and Princess Charlotte Casiraghi of Monaco. Nick Jonas, come on. And you know, I met that guy one day, and he was really, really cool. So sad to see. Charlize Theron, Justin Timberlake, Gigi Hadid and Bella Hadid, Zoe Kravitz, Diplo, Offset, Saweetie, Kendrick Lamar, and Lizzo. Now this is a really big list. What do you guys think they did, if they did anything? And are they going to be called to testify in court? Because this is really insane. No surprise here, but stay safe. Be smart.
The Die Freak Off list has finally been released, and it's looking like
All right,
Steve.
Jen is with me now to talk about another story making headlines today.
Yeah, so this one is actually sparked by these pictures. That's 49-year-old P. Diddy with his hand on his girlfriend's belly. Now that is 22-year-old Lori Harvey. They're in Cabo. She's, of course, talk show host Steve Harvey's stepdaughter. People are talking about maybe that she could be pregnant. You know, he's rubbing her belly a little bit, but
She's put up some Instagrams, I think, that show some clues. Sushi, right? Sushi, a bad thing for pregnancy.
it could go either way. But then also she posted this picture of green juice, which, you know, why would you want to flat her tummy if you really can't avoid it because you're carrying a child?
Ooh, this is conflicting evidence. Okay. Lori was once actually linked to Diddy's son, Justin.
Okay.
Okay, so they were together and then engaged a couple years ago to a Dutch soccer player. She told Carissa Thompson about how he popped the question.
We were in Malibu. I remember the time. It was 11:30. I thought it was a joke. And then he went in his pocket and I started shaking.
They split up later on that year. Lori and Sean were actually spotted with her dad, Steve, on a boat in Italy earlier on this summer.
That's all. Well, then that's it. He's given the blessing. They're together.
Gave
It's
it
a beautiful
approval.
thing, right? Steve once gave us a little dating advice.
This is what I told this boy who came to take my daughter out. I said, listen to me, son. Whatever you do to her, I'm going to do to you. They're going to have a nice day.
That's graphic.
Many dads have used that line before. Thank you for watching. If you want more extra, hit the subscribe button and the bell so you'll never miss a video.
The creepy man actually exploited his own daughter to P. Diddy when she was underage and he was over 50.
Then you asked it, why you not a movie star? I didn't want to be a movie star. This the same Negro that hated on Bernie with this same thing. I didn't want to be a movie star. No, you couldn't be a movie star. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asks for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good over KB and look like Mr. Potato Head. There ain't none. You would have to have a range. I played a lot of characters, 60 movie roles. I'm not playing Cat Williams in there.
I don't know, Cat. We might not let you drink anymore the way I mean, we ain't even got.
Now, you mean to tell me if Steve Harvey, your favorite comedian, you mean you've been waiting for him to do stand-up for 15 years now? He stopped stand-up because he got in a comedy battle called the Championship of Stand-Up Comedy with one Cat Williams in Detroit in front of 10,000 people and lost because Cat Williams said he was actually bald and that was a wig. As much as I'm proving it, you proving it. You've proven it. Yeah, that wasn't the thing. It wasn't, people say that. He lost $50 million. No, that's not even close to what happened to this dude. And until you understand what happened to the dude, you don't understand what happened. Like, no, not they offered him $50 million and he turned it down. Who gonna turn down $50 million? Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling.
Cat Williams hinted at the relationship between Diddy and SteveHarvey a while back.
Yep. And you're telling me Denzel was there and it was after 1 o'clock when he supposedly left? And beanie, socks, and a gold chain. So you're telling me Denzel Washington was butt naked, he had a beanie on, socks on, and a gold chain, and that's it. In front of children. Funny, because he sure portrays himself to be holier than thou. So a lot of them do. I think you also told me that one of those men have a birthmark. Left thigh. So one of those men have a birthmark on their left thigh. Yep. Did you have sexual interactions with Diddy? Denzel? And I know we don't tell on Denzel. You might not tell on Denzel, but your mama gonna tell on every fucking buddy. I ain't keeping no secrets. Denzel? Yep. Birdman, did Birdman promise you things? So much. Like what he promised Lil Wayne at a young age. Because you know we share the system together. Share a birthday together too.
The only reason Denzel Washington had a successful acting career is that, unlike SteveHarvey, he continued to stay connected with people in the industry.
Harvey, it's great to have you on tonight. Thank you so much for this. I kept wondering if sweetening the pot in a bail offer with no more money and just an offer not to see girls was going to make a whiff of difference to a federal judge.
You know, I got to say, there was somebody in my office today in our morning meeting who actually made a really interesting point. She said, if you have to tell a judge, I swear I won't be around women, that in itself should be enough to deny bail.
Yeah, and I have been thinking as well why the money wasn't boosted. I mean, look, $50 million is it's not chump change. But for a guy who's professed to be a billionaire, why didn't he leverage more? Why didn't he do more? Why didn't he offer more?
Actually, I don't think it's a money thing. I think this has to do, and not even so much a flight risk. I think it more has to do with allegations that he has tried to influence and even threaten witnesses. Again, those are allegations by the U.S. attorney, but if the judge buys into that, and it seems like the judge has, then however much money you put up is inconsequential. The real issue is he trying to rig the trial? And the U.S. attorney is saying yes.
And obviously, these are the kinds of charges where that does typically happen. Not that it doesn't happen in other cases, in murders, etc. But when you're dealing with sex crimes, it is so pervasive that witnesses can be intimidated and often do drop out of cases and become less willing to cooperate and perhaps testify. Can I ask you about that? Like, how, for lack of a better description, how effed is he?
Well, I mean, Ashley, you and I were around during the O.J. Simpson trial. I stopped answering that question because I thought O.J. was plenty out, and he wasn't. So you never know, and as you know, the prosecution's case is strongest the day it's filed because you don't hear the defense. So I don't know. I mean, you know, one of the things that's very clear is that they're going to argue that a lot of this was consensual. They're going to argue that the freak-offs were consensual, that the drug use was consensual. I think they're going to have a huge problem with the Cassie video. But think this is going to be a deny defense.
And for a lot of people who maybe, they think they're familiar with hip-hop culture because they might see an awards show and maybe some music videos. Maybe people have always sort of assumed that there are these freaky parties that go on, and maybe in their minds, that's what they can be told in a courtroom, that sure, freaky parties are everywhere, and this was no different. But the difference in this case is the witnesses and the number of people who filed civil complaints that all seem to line up with the same kind of narrative.
Yeah, and the civil cases will be put on hold during the criminal trial, I'm sure. But these witnesses can definitely go to court. There is no doubt in my mind that the main star witness for the prosecution is Cassie, his ex-girlfriend, who he beat horribly at the Century Plaza Hotel in 2016. But there are going to be a lot of other women as well, and men. And I think the volume is going to be very difficult for him to overcome.
So let's talk about that. I'm curious about the people who are around him, the closest to him, those executives, those security team members, those minions, the people, the housekeepers that were listed in the indictment, unnamed, who I think right now are shaking in their boots if they haven't already been paraded in and out of the U.S. Attorney's Office. How many of those people do you think are so loyal to Diddy they might go down with the ship? And how many of them do you think are singing like canaries?
Well, I mean, look, we have seen how many cases where somebody is on the line and they flip. And that's what the U.S. Attorney is going to do. I have no doubt about that there are people who have got to be nervous right now. Remember, I mean, they say that this was like a mafia organization that operated for 18 years. Diddy was the sun around which 1,000 celebrities circle, and big celebrities. So I don't think it's just housekeepers and security guards. Who else attended these parties? And I think that may be a reason why Hollywood has been so silent, that they often speak out. I mean, with Harvey Weinstein, everybody talked.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.
Just because Denzel told you to leave a party before the devil arrives doesn't mean he was leaving with you. The strange part is that despite how problematic it is, he might avoid consequences because he could potentially blackmail Harvey and his daughter into claiming it was all consensual.
I think part of why Kamal is getting so much support is that if Trump wins, that Epstein client list is going to become public. Yes. And some of those billionaires behind Kamala are terrified of that outcome.
Yeah. Do you think Reid Hoffman's uncomfortable?
Yes. And Gates.
And I only ask that because you can sort of just look at them and you're like, that's a nervous person right there. I don't know. I mean, I assume you know that. Yeah.
Yes. Reid Hoffman was my vice president of business development at PayPal.
Yeah.
24 years ago.
Does he seem nervous to you?
Yeah, I mean, he's terrified of a Trump victory.
Because of the disclosure that would follow?
I think it is. He's certainly ideologically not aligned with Trump anyway, but I think he is concerned about the Epstein situation. Like something might actually, the DOJ might actually move forward.
There are a lot of videos, apparently. Those rooms on the island, and I think out in New Mexico, were wired for video.
Right. And where's the video? I mean, between Diddy and Epstein, there's probably several thousand hours of footage here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird that the people on those videos are lecturing the rest of us about our moral failings, isn't it?
Yeah, it's weird.
What is that?
Well, I mean, part of how they deflect attention from themselves is by criticizing the morals of others.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like a preemptive moral strike. I mean, as I said, those who are saying Trump is a threat to democracy are themselves actually the threat to democracy.
It feels like we're getting to a place where the rest of us know too much. Is this? Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's easier to live in a society where you don't really know what the people in charge are doing or why they're doing it. But now, thanks, I would say, largely to X.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say that.
Yeah.
We do know a lot. Not everything, but we know a lot. And I wonder wonder where does that, like, what happens next now that we know all this? The kidnapper's shown us his face. Like, what happens?
Well, I think if Trump wins, we can do some house cleaning and shed light on.
Now, unfortunately, because of Diddy, he has some politicians ready to protect his interests.
Now is Sean Combs.
Okay, tell us why. Tell us why.
Because he's a sex trafficker. And he's using music and entertainment to sex traffic.
Now, is this just boys, girls, adults, kids? Like,
I mean, from what I've heard from sources that I would consider reliable, it really doesn't matter.
Wow.
I don't think sexuality is something that has anything to do with gender at this point for Sean. I honestly think he's just an extreme narcissist who loves power. He loves the ability to manipulate and control people. Why? Most likely because he was victimized by his mentor, who loves to control people.
And his mentor was
Andre Harrell.
Tell us how
who was mentored by Clive Davis.
Oh God. And don't tell me that Andre Harrell got touched by Clive Davis too.
I'm telling you, I don't know what happened between Andre and Clive. What I do know is that Andre got passed over. Like, how do you go from being the president of Uptown and losing your entire company to your intern? Like, Puff started out as an intern.
Yes,
he was throwing parties with Mark Barnes in Washington, D.C. And then he became an intern at Uptown, and he was very, proactive. And if there's one thing that Sean knows, he knows pop culture.
The only reason he got away with it for so long was due to powerful people. On September 25th, 2020, Jaguar Wright claimed he was involved in trafficking and that he learned the practice from Clive Davis, whom she also accused of being a pedophile and a Satanist hosting gay rituals.